Hey, thanks for clicking on this article. I've been thinking a lot about this question lately. Why are some UFC fighters just way more resilient to defeat than others? I mean, we've all seen it, right? A fighter takes a massive punch, gets knocked down, and then somehow finds a way to come back stronger. It's pretty mind-blowing. So let's break it down and see what's really going on behind the scenes. First off, resilience isn't something you can just turn on when you're in the cage. It's built up over time, through experiences, training, and mental toughness. Sure, physical strength plays a huge role in fighting, but what about mental strength? That's where the magic happens. Some fighters seem to bounce back from defeat like it's nothing, while others struggle to get back on track after a loss. But why? What sets the resilient ones apart? Let's dive into it. The first big factor is mindset. A fighter with a resilient mindset doesn't see a loss as the end of the world. Instead, they see it as a lesson. They don't let one setback define their career or their identity. After a defeat, they're more likely to focus on what went wrong, learn from it, and get right back in the gym to improve. They understand that failure is part of the journey, and it doesn't diminish their skill or potential. It's just a moment, not the end of the road. On the other hand, fighters who struggle with resilience might fall into a cycle of self-doubt after a loss. They may question their ability or get stuck in the emotional aftermath. It's like they're carrying that loss with them, and it starts to chip away at their confidence. But those resilient fighters, they don't dwell on the negative. They pick themselves up and keep pushing forward. It's like they've trained their minds to recover faster than their bodies can. Another key factor is experience. The more battles you've been through, the better you get at handling the tough times. Resilience doesn't come from avoiding losses. It comes from facing them, learning from them, and rising above them. Fighters who have been in the cage countless times know that they'll have bad nights, but they've seen enough to know that it doesn't matter in the grand scheme. They've been tested, and they know how to fight through adversity. It's not their first rodeo. But here's something that doesn't get talked about enough: emotional intelligence. Being able to manage emotions, especially in such a high-pressure, intense environment like the UFC, is a huge part of resilience. A fighter who can stay calm under pressure, even after a tough loss, is much more likely to get back on track quickly. They can control their emotions, not let frustration or anger dictate their next move, and make smart decisions. That level of emotional control takes time and experience to develop, but it's something that truly sets the resilient fighters apart. Let's not forget about the support system. It's one thing to have the physical tools to bounce back from a loss, but a fighter's team and mental coach can make all the difference. Resilient fighters often surround themselves with a strong support system, people who remind them of their worth, help them analyze their performance without being overly critical, and keep their spirits up after a tough loss. That sense of camaraderie and trust in their corner helps them get back on track much faster. And lastly, we have to talk about passion and purpose. A lot of resilient fighters have this deep-rooted passion for the sport that goes beyond just winning or losing. They're driven by a sense of purpose, a love for the game, and a commitment to their craft. This passion fuels their resilience. Even when things get tough, they remember why they started in the first place, and that keeps them going, no matter how many times they fall. So, when you watch a fighter like Kamaru Usman, Israel Adesanya, or even a veteran like Frankie Edgar, you see more than just physical skill. You see someone who's built their resilience over time. They've been knocked down, but they know how to get back up. They've learned how to deal with defeat and use it as fuel to come back even stronger. Thanks for sticking with me through this. I hope this gave you some insight into what makes certain UFC fighters so mentally tough. It's not just about throwing punches, it's about how you handle the punches life throws at you. So, whether you're a fighter or just someone facing challenges in life, take a page out of their playbook. Keep learning, keep improving, and never let a setback define you. You've got this.